Hello and welcome to Martini's Eco and Country Bites. I'm Martini Shepherd here on Edge Radio Australia. Today I have an Aussie warrior. He is someone I met when I was appearing on a show by Liz Gunn all the way over in New Zealand. A gentleman that's certainly making a lot of waves, and some of his reels and videos are starting to get viral out there, and I'm really glad to see this. This is a gentleman that's been out there fighting the good fight for some time. This is a little intro to who I'm introducing today.
Yeah, I'm the publican from Toobeah. So it's a little town out past Gundawinni. It's about 50 k's west of Gundy, probably 5.5 hours from here. So we've got 12 houses. There's about 30 people live there, and then the pub that my family have owned for about 30 years. So it's a tiny little town. It's in the middle of nowhere. No one's ever heard of the bloody place. We woke up one morning and found out that 95% of it had been given to an Aboriginal corporation that nobody's ever heard of. So it was quite a daunting thing. So what we'll probably speak about here now is just sort of what we've learnt from that and moving forward. So as soon as that come about, the community sort of got together and said, righto, well, what's going on here? What are we going to do? And everyone was looking into it, but nobody knows anything about native title. It's a really confusing thing that doesn't actually make a lot of sense, and it's meant to do that by design. So to set the scene sort of thing, the Resources Department, the Queensland Resources Department, the Gundawinni Regional Council and the Biggamble Aboriginal Corporation have been speaking about the future of our township from 2009 till last year in secret, so they actually didn't bring anything up with the public. They passed a heap of resolutions, there's 5 or 6 of them there that make all of these steps happen, and every one of them was done to deceive the public so nobody actually know anything about it. So the thing that obviously really annoyed everybody that lived out there was it locked us out of our creek. So there's a hole that was man-made by the council, like the government built that, weird up a river to put the water in, and that's the water for the town. So if you want to go...
Of course, I'm talking about Michael Offerdahl. Michael, welcome to Martini's Eco and Country Bites, my friend. You're out there fighting the good fight yet again. You're relentless. I love it. Thanks, Robin, for that catchphrase. You are. Wow. Where are things at for you right now? Many people might not know the backstory. That what I've just shown is a little bit. 2009, these conversations started, and all without the whole community. Michael, where is it at now, and how far have you come along, and what wins are you having?
Well, yeah, it's come a long way. I think we, by now, actually know more about native title than the people that created it. So it's going to be really helpful in pulling it all apart. This is the worst effort at deceiving the community that's probably ever been done by a government in the history of Australia. It's really, really bad. The pathway to treaty, which you'd know, and other states are doing treaties like Victoria now. So when Christopher Foley won the premiership there last year, he said he'd fully support for the pathway to treaty, and he cited the 70% of Queensland that voted no as his reason for doing it. The pathway to treaty, the voice is the first pillar of that. So when Australia said, mate, this is just stupid, we're not doing it, that's what he's referring there. Yet here we are now with the treaty still going ahead in stealth. So things like road signs with, this is Biggamble country, for example, but people have contacted me. They're going all through Queensland now. Cultural stuff like the Rangers programs. So that's part of the treaty process as well. So that's the government paying heaps of people that are useless to go and do jobs that don't need to exist, just wasting our money. And it's all Aboriginal people and Aboriginal people that can have the jobs. In some areas that might make sense up north, maybe, out in Aboriginal communities, but we're in suburbia. Like we can be in Brisbane in 4 hours. It's it's just the start of a complete piss take. So instead of starting this in Brisbane, they brought it out to the bush and they pulled it on with a community that's 100% not Aboriginal. So we've got no say under the Queensland Aboriginal Land Act. It specifically says that we don't get consulted because only other Aboriginal people are to be consulted. So you've got your tribe or anyone else that's Aboriginal from a different tribe, they could say something. But because we're white, we can fuck off. That's what they're saying. And I just think that's really bad. Yeah.
I think that the divisiveness that this is causing, Michael, is what most people with the yes vote were dead against. And this is the thing, is that I think that it's, as far as I'm concerned, rock art, sacred sites that are proven that people have been out there, researched it, and want to protect. To me, it's like this whole lands. It's not just one group of people. It's all of our heritage that I think that we have to learn by. But when you're talking about a group of people that come from, is it Stradbroke Island?
Yeah, well, they're actually more specific than that. They claim they come from North Stradbroke Island.
North Straddy.
Yeah, their history in our shires, they say, is between 1920 and 1964. So what these guys did, they're really clever. They got some people from other Aboriginal groups that might be more from this area to join up with the determination. They paid people to vote in specific ways to make it happen as well. So cash payments and stuff, that's all been reported. It's your standard practice, though, in this kind of game. Anyway, what's happened then after they've got the determination? They've kicked these people out of the tribe, basically. Like, what a show. You've got to choose. You're either Gamilaroi or Bigambul. You can't be both anymore. So, what's the Gamilaroi people going to do? They got to pick a side. So they're out of the frigging tribe. You've had this other court case happens called Bigambul 5. The federal judge has absolutely destroyed their connection to country bullshit they've come up with. It's the same stuff they use to get Toobeah. Like, it's just such a joke. What they've done is when you said before about cultural stuff, so like your rock art and that, well, these guys are that stupid. They've gone and claimed a man-made creek as a sacred hole. They've scattered ashes around by hand in this generation, and that's an Aboriginal burial ground. Like, the shit that they're coming up with is next level. It's criminal.
To me, that flies in this flies in the face of what most Australians, everyday Australians, you're always going to have that polarity of people where people have no regard for Indigenous culture, history, and whatever, or Aboriginal in this nation. That's fine. That if that's what they feel, and they don't have that sense of connection to land, and there are others that can respect it, love it, and think, yeah, we want to keep that alive. However, pulling moves like this, to me, flies in the face of everything what we're wanting, as an integrated nation. And that's what we're trying to work towards, not divisiveness. We don't want divisiveness anymore. I don't know, I'm sick to death of it. This is just to put in perspective where you are inland from Brisbane and in Queensland. I mean, it's not like, I look at it this way. It's like, how could in all of the years there were discussions, the entire community, you've been in that community, your parents owned the pub there at Toobeah?
Yeah, Dad and my mum bought it in 1998, so we've been out here since before then. Yeah, our whole life. It's all we've got in the whole world, hey? This town. Now we've been locked out of our creek and given away. It's the most disrespectful thing that I believe has ever happened to a community in Australia. And these people in the LNP, these sick people sitting there, having a little laugh. They feel really good. They get chuffed. It actually gets people off in the city, this kind of thing. They feel really good about it. They're like, oh, look at this nice thing we're doing for these poor Aboriginal people. Well, only 20% of Aboriginal people are actually struggling. And I'll tell you what, this isn't doing anything to help it. They've spent more money trying to rip off our community, deceive the people of Queensland and give our town away than it would have cost to put sewerage, drinking water in a frigging park in our town. Like, you just, I can't even put it into words to describe what they've done. These are the most horrible people that have ever existed in humanity. And it's a thing that goes right back through bureaucracy and pushed in. So the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People is one major pillar of where this comes from. So that, the rights of those people, though, are worth more than the rights of myself and my family because we're white. You are literally doing to us what you're saying you're fixing by doing this to us. Well, why is Toobeah going to wear your brunt? Put it in the city where you like it.
It's virtual signalling at its most vile, as far as I'm concerned. You've got a group of people that have no connection to this nation, that don't know the country at all. I've got to be honest, when I looked at the flyover, I was like, oh my lordy verdy me. Did that look just like Munty, where I'm from Muntatch? It was like the pub right smack in the middle and the streets around it, 12 houses. I was like, wow. We joke about coming from a one-horse town, but, ours was a half-horse town.
Yeah, I'm hearing
It's
you.
like when you
It was the most
understand that,
beautiful place in the world, eh?
and you know, the thing is that people fight and work really hard to keep their communities together. I know, like you and I have lived very much the same kind of lifestyle. Growing up with busy bees and the whole community coming together to actually have things achieved, doing your fundraising, you know, applying for grants to actually make your community work. And then you've got those business
Mm.
owners like yourself. Well, in my family, we own the general store in Muntajan. Go and look that one up because it's, you know, again, the Munchie pub has been up for sale. I don't know if it's sold, but I tell you right now, because uh, we were infamous for our shindigs, let's put it that way, but we owned the general store. And what I do know is that having access to those things to come in, you know, certain nights of the week, come in for a meal and a couple of cold ones and come in and connect with the community. When you start to degrade those things even further, and there's no way for a meeting point, that there is no way for the community to come together to feel strong, united, and have conversations, especially for blokes. You know, they talk all about mental health for men, but, you know, you look at this and you just go, they're attacking the farmers, they're attacking the land with this green renewables, and now that this on top of it. I think these people need to pull themselves up on the pressures they're putting on, because I see that this is another nail they're trying to put in the coffin for anything that's about uniting and keeping this nation strong, Michael. I think this is
Yeah, I
abhorrent.
agree with what you're saying. What's going to
Yeah.
have to happen, and the first political party that stands up and says that it will actually prosecute this anti-Australian behaviour, they're the ones that are going to win the election. Like, this is treason. There's no other way about it, and everything that's going on to destroy our way of life. Like, you have to work 2 jobs to rent a house. You can't ever
Yeah.
sit there and say that you've achieved anything if that's a fact. There's 200,000 people living homeless under bridges. There's 20%, like I've said, of Aboriginal people somehow have been kept in poverty for 40 years. Every year, enough money spent, though, to lift these people out of poverty, to help them have better lives. No one cares. But they don't care. It's because they don't have to see it. They
And
don't have to live with it. They've got to
you
be,
know, the
it's
thing
got to
is,
be,
Michael,
sorry,
what support have you had, mate, from like local MPs, federal? I know
none
that
at all. Only
none.
One Nation.
Oh yeah.
One
Well,
Nation's it. Pauline Hanson came straight out. She kicked it off. She said,
go
she
Pauline.
read what we sent her and said, this is absolute bullshit. I'm going to fight this.
Yeah.
And then she did. And then the whole world had to listen because Pauline stood up. It was beautiful. Malcolm Roberts has been out as well. So he's
My
come
mate
out and,
Malcolm.
yeah, we've done a couple of things with him, and he
Yep.
understands it and fires up. Jacinta Price and Matt Kenovan, we must have tricked them into writing a letter for us. I don't know what happened there because they've disappeared ever since they wrote it. It's bloody hilarious. But yeah, we've had
So
luckily had a really good run with social media, so that's the only way we've kept ahead. We're actually probably nearly the biggest news source in the Southern Downs that we live in now, just off my Facebook page. So it's
yeah, mate,
hilarious.
I think we
Yeah.
should get together and start a whole media mogul machine here.
God, I just want to
We
swim in
know
the
how to
frigging
stir the
creek, eh?
pot.
That's all we want to do.
I know,
Want to swim in
right?
their creek and be left alone.
Oh, Michael,
Anyway, they're going to destroy
is it
native title if they don't give us their creek back. I can freaking tell you, we're going to keep coming at it.
so? As far as what is legal standing, does the whole community have to come together and create an organisation, that kind of thing, to have legal standing to take action against the government, or is that something that individuals can do?
Ah, shit. The only way you could do anything is a judicial review. But what I think you're actually doing is discrediting the Queensland taxpayer by doing that. But this process is
Mm-hmm.
so flawed and so wrong. The state members actually wrote a letter to the state and to the council and said that the state government gave false advice to the Gundawindi Regional Council, and the state government didn't follow the Queensland Aboriginal Land Act with community consultation. So that's out there. Yet no one will speak. The council won't speak. The premier won't speak. All this bullshit they've made up with all their misinformation campaigns and all this crap they've gone on with. They've wasted millions of dollars fighting me for a lie. The state members just said that you're lying. And this is the guy his first letter
Mm.
called us foaming at the mouth, spreaders of misinformation, half truth. this is the biggest story you've ever heard. He's going to make a beautiful 10-part Netflix series one day. Like, it's going to be really cool. Hopefully a really attractive redheaded dude plays me. You mad? Bit of a, yeah, Ed Sheeran sort of dude. No, I'm not joking.
Oh
No,
God.
it's actually so funny that it's gotten so big and there's so many moving parts because everyone thinks they can just lie to the public. So one guy tells a
Mate,
lie, the next one has to back it up. Next minute it's snowball. They can't even remember the frigging lie by the end of it.
tell you what, I think you're on it about this is going to make an absolute banger classic of an Aussie cult movie for sure, because just like The Castle, this is the exact same premise, right? And we know
Massively.
even now it's embedded in this culture in our nation. And I don't care what color of your skin is, honestly, when it comes to misuse of power and abuse of a community where you've never even engaged with them. I mean, you know that I've been doing the same with the offshore wind stuff here in WA. It's getting to the point now that people that can't see that this government do not have any living being that lives in this nation best interest, really. They really don't, because they're doing it from ideology, agenda, and through sources of money that are funneling through into this nation that are all about diminishing the culture that this nation is,
Well,
to
it's
totally
reversing
destroy it.
colonialism is what they actually frame it as. It's not even like a thing that someone makes up in their head. You can literally just read their whole thing. Like the UN tells you what it's doing. Colonialism's bad. White people are colonialism. That's what they're
Okay,
doing.
so this
You're
is
going to replace the
okay. So
flag.
this
You're
is
going to
where
knock
I
the
have a
statues
real
down.
problem with. Isn't that the absolute epitome of racism? Is it's like, we're going to judge you because you're white. It's like, what?
Yep.
Just let's back this up. Isn't that the exact same thing? You're saying that you're being, discriminated against because of your skin color and belief systems, but you've just put me into a belief system that I don't actually belong to, but because of the color of my skin, you think that I do. Yeah, look, this needs to be ripped to pieces, Michael. What's your next moves here? You don't have to tell all of it, obviously, but what I
Some
heard you
matters
had a
must
good interview.
remain operational secrets.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going forward, we've obviously we've got a lot going on. So we've exhausted every avenue that we can be sent down. So now we're just knocking on the Premier's door. We're going to keep pounding on his door until he either jumps out that window and runs away from us, or he opens up and has a yarn, because he's got nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. He needs to speak about Toobeah. He needs to talk about it. He said to the people of Queensland, "Treaty's done. I've heard your voice." He said that. Well,
This
85%
is
of our
Christopherly, right?
community
This
voted
is
no.
Christopherly.
David Christopherly,
Wow.
85% of our community voted no. That's the Maranoa. That's nearly 25% of the landmass of frigging Queensland. Look, this guy's delusional if he thinks he can hide from us, or to protect a few politicians that seem to enjoy this. Like, the people of Queensland don't enjoy it. We told you that. You said you heard us. Here we are. You're still pushing it. Wake up,
So
David.
there's federal government bodies involved in this whole thing too, right, Michael? Because it sits underneath a federal government legislation, and then it's the way it's implemented at a state by state level is different. Isn't that correct?
To a degree. So the federal government funds it. It pushes it sort of in here, and then it's the state and the local government that decide it. So why we got screwed was they did a consent determination. So the state, like the council and the state, basically consented to it. So none of the shit was tested in court. It got passed straight through, and then obviously since, like I said, there it's they've done it again, trying to claim more land in the Shire, and they've thrown out the credibility of that very information. It's just a way to control the land and talk about the land with the fewest amount of people. So yeah, like we're saying, 100% of our community is cut out of the conversation about our community. No Aboriginal people live here. You can look it up on census. Yeah, it's as bad as it gets, and I can see why Mr. Christopher is hiding from it. 100% I
Yeah, I'd
can,
be hiding
because
it
it's
too.
pretty bad. And he stood up there, and they actually supported this before The Voice. So it's bipartisan support in Queensland. LNP and Labor both supported this pathway to treaty. They got all emotional and teary, and lots of words like respect and culture and all that smoke and stuff getting about the place. And what for the whole of Queensland not to, and you're going to keep doing it in secret. Like, wake up.
Michael, what day did you wake up and find out that this had been that your town had been taken over by this Aboriginal corporation? When
I
was
think we
that?
learnt in January 24, late January,
Mm.
sort of, but no one ever knew what anything meant. Like, no one had heard of the word Aboriginal Land Act before. No one had, we
Mm.
were just getting told rubbish by the council, rubbish by the state. All of their information they've said's all opposite to each other. The state tried to blame the council for it all. Then the council tries to blame the state. Well, they're both involved
What
from the
a
start, so I don't know what they're
what
doing.
a bunch of absolute spineless.
They're
Oh
spastics. It's
man.
just horrible, mate. They're absolutely just useless people. This is what I'm saying. People like this, they need to actually be prosecuted for this, and they need to be
Yeah.
banned from ever having anything to do with a government agency or the government ever again. If you're a
Mm.
bureaucrat and this come across your
Mm.
desk and you thought this is a good thing, you're a bad person and you shouldn't be
Yeah.
making these decisions. I'm not saying that we have to jail these people or hang them, but you can't be in a position of power like this if you could make such a massive, massive mistake like this. You're a horrible person.
I don't think there's any mistake about it, Michael. The thing is that they knowingly and willingly did not disclose this to the community. To me, that is collusion and fraud. You're
Well, it
defrauding
certainly
a whole
sounds like it.
community.
It
Because
sounds a
as
lot
far
like
as
it.
yeah, well, for me, I think that if you have been elected to be a representative of the people, then you have a responsibility in that role where you are going to present to the people with transparency, with integrity, what is planned for their community. If you fail to do so, you should be held accountable. I'm so sick of people who hold position and are part of the way that this, whether it's local government, state, or federal, I don't care. When you've been abusing your power, I'm sorry, you do need to be pulled up. One, you need to be stripped of your pension. Two, you need to be prosecuted for the damages you have caused to others, because you are. I think that the time of lack of accountability is done in this nation. That's why I'm so glad to see farmers pushing back. I'm starting to finally see fishermen pushing back, and to see communities like yourself, Michael. I'm disgusted. There are times where I have to dig really deep as an Aussie, and knowing that I'm the granddaughter of an Anzac, that I cannot give up on this. I'm not made that way. But my God, there are days where I just like, this nation has gone to shite. It's just, I can't believe that it's got to this point and we're all pushed to the wall, to the point, like you said before, you can't even afford to own your own home. Like,
That's
there are
what's the
homeless
point?
people.
What's the point of this
Yeah.
whole thing? It makes no sense anymore. You should be able to be an independent person, own a business, own a house, own a couple of cars, and have the weekend off to enjoy it with your children. But that's the Australian dream,
You
I
know,
thought.
I am the poster woman, the demographic of the homeless person in WA, especially. The right age category, I'm the right sex as a female, born and bred, born woman. And all I can say is that when you're a working person and you work very hard, and you always have, and for different circumstances that certainly happened over the last 4 or 5 years because you didn't want to participate in an experiment,
Mm.
where you find yourself is bouncing from room to room, or shared house to shared house. Or if you're trying to get out into a property on your own, well, you're fighting against people that, one, will want to outbid you, and two, probably have a rental history. And this is the problem, Michael, is that this has all been by design, is to make us homeless and vulnerable. But they've woken a beast in Australia, is what I feel.
Well, I
And
hope so.
I tell you right now, I hear a lot of angry people. I do hear people that are very complacent, that haven't got a clue. But I'm seeing a lot of pain, that even people who have lived quite affluent lives, even people who do FIFO for a long, long time, are really, really struggling. And I'm like, wow, it's hitting them hard. I'm like, when you see all of this and you're just thinking, most people just want to go to work, come home, be with their families, make plans in life, have a roof over their head, like you said, just get on with their life without all of this insanity. But we have this ideology and foreign policies and corporate funded monies coming into this nation that is to destroy it. And I'm glad to see that quite a few people are waking up, but we've got a long way to go, Michael. We do.
Oh, it's it's a big job. People just don't want to be helped. Like you're looking at people that just don't have any concept of what's going on in the world. They can't see what's in front of them, and you like God. It's very frustrating. Let me tell you, we've had to do quite a bit of work with this, but I don't know. We can't give up. We've got to keep pushing. And
And
I
supporting
do
each
think there's a
other.
lot more standing up. There's a lot more people standing up now and getting into it. Like the stuff we're talking about, you couldn't have said that on the internet 2 years ago. Go and have a look at my page. Like we've pulled this whole shit show apart, and the whole country's behind us. Everyone's in there saying their bit. The activists can't even get a foothold. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah. Politics should be scared because it's going to end. It's going to
Yeah.
end big, eh?
Unfortunately, we're going to have to see a revisit of what happened in the 70s where the government was stood down. I don't know how it's going to happen in this nation because the Governor General is certainly not the kind of Governor General that existed back in the 70s. Um,
Yeah.
so I hear this on a weekly basis, actually, that the only way that we will find a way out of this is to get rid of Labor government and clean up
Yeah.
politics. I mean, we need to clean house full stop in this nation. Like there are so many people that are supposed to represent the people that are on the take, and people go, oh, you can't say that. Yeah, I will. How is it that you can be on a public, you're a public servant to the people? I don't care what you call yourself. You're a public servant to the people, but you've got, 30, $40 million of assets and all of these
Mm.
companies. And it's like, no, you can't be worth that amount of money if you're a public servant. If you're a public servant, your interest is there to be a representative of the people. That friend that we talked about earlier, Malcolm Roberts, my God, does that man work? He was over here and spoke at our symposium against the offshore wind turbines industry in all of Australia. And we had representatives from the WA Rock Lobster Council. So we are talking about a very balanced perspective, all science, data-based evidence. We had Megan Lapp here from the USA. And mate, did that cause ripples? It was great. Within 3 days of that symposium, it was already on the radar of the Senate committee that was inquiring about the community groups that are not in alignment and lockstep with their narrative and steamrolling. So all I can say, Michael, is that I think that the more that we can get this on people's conversations, the dinner plate, let's put it that way, the dinner plate conversations and those conversations at the bar, talking about conversations at the bar, do you have people that come into your town, whether they're travellers or visiting family members, that kind of thing? What's their feedback when they hear the story face to face?
Oh, well, it's pretty hard to find anyone now that hasn't heard the story, to be honest. Like, there's millions of
They're
people
all
have heard it.
coming today.
Like, me literally across the country, millions of people have heard the story. And that's
Mm-hmm.
mostly what's coming here now is people coming here to talk about it, to offer their support, to spend some money. And
So
everyone
good.
says, just keep fighting them. Keep fighting them until there's none of them left to fight, mate. That's what they're saying. I don't know. We couldn't stop if we wanted to. We've got
No, you
every
couldn't.
sort of thing in the world behind us. Most of the country wanting to push it. I don't know. It might get to the point where we got to choke off supply to the cities to force a conversation a bit earlier. I don't know how we do that as a country, but all the regional
Mm-hmm.
areas and the bush, like we're the ones getting screwed.
Mm-hmm.
If you could put a bit of heat on the city for a week, you'd probably break them down real quick and they'd start listening. But yeah, it's just madness. Let us decide our future out here. You guys can destroy your life in there if that's what it's got to come down to. But you can't be offsetting your life and your good times by destroying ours. It's just stupid. Yeah,
Well,
ill-informed
Michael,
people.
all I know is that the symposium was incredibly successful, and whether we try and do another one that joins all of these dots together, because that's what I think a lot of people are sort of starting to come together as how food security that's being attacked by this ideology and World Economic Forum plans what's going on in our rural regional communities, what's happening to the fishing industry, what's happening to everyday people. I think that maybe we could have a chat about trying to put this all on the same agenda at some point, and having guest speakers for a couple of hours go through something like that to help people join those dots, because I think that'd be really powerful about, this is the overarching framework that it comes under, and how it's being implemented in Australia, because it's happening worldwide, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think the quickest and simplest way is to join every single issue together
Group.
into one. So, like we said earlier, 2.5 million people in Queensland voted no. So across the country, I don't know what's that. Could be 8, 10 million, whatever it is. If you could get the story out to those people and educate them enough, say, give us $10 and we'll beat this thing. That's literally how easy it is. A bit of a war chest in there, and all you do is a reverse climate change. So all they did was put out all this bullshit information. Well, we don't even have to put bullshit information out. We just put the facts out and give them a
Yeah,
calculator. Have a little add up here,
absolutely.
guys, and let's see what you come up with, because we can help you learn how this actually works. And that education through would be pretty good. But I think One Nation's going to hit pretty hard this next election by the look of it. It's got a good chance of doing a bit of a reform UK type setup, especially with Barnaby tickling around the edge of it. See where he ends up. No, you never know. Hopefully a few decent other politicians, if they want a career, anyone sitting in there now, they might decide to follow Barnaby and in One Nation's lead and just stand up for Australia, because at the moment we've got no one else.
Look, their increase has been consistently 4% or 4.3 in WA in particular. So it just keeps going up week by week. And I'm just like, wow, there's not going to be any other option but to choose One Nation at one point, because as far as I look, and like the Libs are just floundering. They can't work themselves out. They're flip-flopping around like a dead fish.
Makes you feel a bit sick watching them. You're like, oh, someone hit him with a stick. Like, it's just they're spasming about the place. Like, do you not follow what's going on in the world? Do you not understand what the people want? We keep telling you, but you don't take it on board. Does it not interest you? Or do you think you're going to get voted in without it? Is that how the system's working? Inevitably,
it
it's going
comes
to
back
change.
to being a career politician, Michael. That's the problem, is that we've got too many career politicians, not enough in there that have got skin in the game, that are actually going to be true representatives of the people. Come full circle with this one, haven't we? I just feel like we really need to be more discerning about, one, the kind of people we're voting in, and if a party is not putting forward someone that actually is a true representative, then you need to stop voting for them. And if you're not looking at the kind of policies and where they're coming from, especially if it's foreign adopted policies and it's all under the United Nations, it's all under the World Economic Forum. If this is what this is about, then you need to wake up, otherwise we're going to lose this nation. But thank God we've got people like Michael. Yeah.
Well, I think we need One Nation, or whoever it is, to put out some solid policy. Like, if we get elected, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to destroy this, destroy that. Once the people understand that things hurting them won't exist, once they vote in a specific way, well, we might get somewhere, because at the moment, politics has got nothing to do with education. It's got nothing to do with anything. It's just doing absolutely nothing. It's lying to us each day and robbing us of rights and a voice, mate. But luckily we've got people like you and thousands of others that are still putting it out there and trying to educate them. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere at this point. Like, we all have pretty crazy schedules, but as far as I'm concerned, I mean, you and I have said that we wanted to do this quite some months ago now, but it's like we finally got there, But all I can say is that I think that the timing's been perfect. The interview you did this morning, who was that with?
Oh yeah, I've had a big day. I'm on Ben Fordham this morning in Sydney, and now I'm here with you. I think I got news.com looking to do a hatchet job on me. Got a little email from them before. Hopefully I corrected them and got them going the right direction. They've generally been pretty good. For a town of 30 people, got an amazing ability to make its way into the national spotlight.
Mate, you've got a great big pot, a big spoon to stir that pot. All I can say is keep doing it, because you're doing a bloody good job.
Yeah, we're going to fight these guys in the afterlife if it comes to it. Don't you worry.
haunt them in that from the grave.
That's it. Every day.
Oh, Michael, you know what? It reinvigorates my humanity and faith in that, and especially in Australia, because without you and the rest of them out there fighting a good fight, I don't know what I'd be doing. It certainly wouldn't be worth doing this. I can tell you right now, out there trying to share the truth. But I know that your story is so well known, and your reels and the information you're getting out there is so powerful. Do not give up. And anytime you need to get some more information out there, you just let me know, and we will do another interview or get out whatever we can on Edge Radio Australia. But thank you for joining me today, my friend.
No, I really appreciate it, mate, and we'll keep talking. We'll
Absolutely, we will. Yeah, let's do that. Have a great day. Thank you, Michael. Wow. Not an Aussie battler, but mate is here, a warrior for the cause. Thank you, Michael, and to so many people that are reaching out right now that are wanting to share their perspective stories, their truth, evidence, data, science, transparency in all that is so incredibly corrupt that's happening around our nation. Thank you for joining me today on Edge Radio Australia. This has been Martini's Eco and Country Bites.